Is Janet from another planet? 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 Is Janet from another planet?
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me tonight on the Friday Night Shit Show. The sad news is that Ruben won't be able to join me tonight. It looks like one of his really close friends that he was staying with for a while passed away today. And it's on his X timeline, and I just really feel bad for him. And I hadn't heard from anyone else that said they were going to join me tonight, so I guess I'm by myself again. I guess nobody wants to stir up shit like I do. But so I say hello to everyone that's in here so far. Oh, Hungar, look at you, a member for 1 full month. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You're just amazing. You're just such a good person. All of you guys are. I've been so lucky and blessed to have met some wonderful people in the group that I'm in. People that play games and stuff. Roll the dice and laugh and joke around and just have fun. I'm really lucky to have that. And I want to play this special video really quick. Right here, say thank you to the people who support me. So here we go.
I just want to say thank you. Say thank you for everything. Oh, the blessings, the messes, whatever comes next. I know you're watching over me, and I just want to be grateful. Just grateful for all I have. I'm alive and I'm breathing. This vibe's got me singing.
Thank you very much. I just tried to throw together a few videos to thank everybody. My few little members that I have now, since I've just barely monetized. Well, that monetized part is just basically to be able to allow to have members to my channel. And I've been trying to make a few videos just for my members. I think I've done a couple live streams, but I'll get better at it, I hope. If I had some input, it would be a lot easier. But yeah, I've got some good shit and some bad shit tonight. So I'm going to start off by saying hi to everyone in the chat really quick and said, good luck. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You're always such a sweetheart. And then Hungar being a member for 1 full month. Thank you so much. And then hello. Thank you for joining me tonight. I thought I saw you last night too. So thank you so much, Omen Screaming Raven. And he said, evening, Janet. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And then hello, Hungar. He's saying hi to everyone. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And Lloyd Christmas. Yeah, you gave me a really good joke this afternoon with that x-ray. It was funny because when I looked at my phone, it slid off. So I really did see it. I just saw the knee and I was like, oh my, it's awful. And then later on my big screen on my computer, I saw it and I was like, oh, that's weird. But it was funny. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Oh, hello, Shadow. Thank you so much for stopping in. I really do try to go by and say hi to everyone as much as I can, depending on what's going on. And, that's all I can do sometimes. But I just want to say thank you to you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys just stopping in and saying hi to me. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, who's shit? Oh, all shit smells bad. Yeah, it probably does. But some, I'm sure, it smells better than other shit. Baby shit doesn't smell near as bad, does it? As grown-ups. So that's one thing I can definitely say. Because I remember it's just when they're first born, they just hardly has any substance at all, and then as they start eating the food that we eat, it gets really bad. But let's start off with this shit. But this was the first thing I wanted to share because I thought it was pretty good. I mean, there's some really good stuff out this week. I was really surprised, but this one was funny. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. It's a bet between Joe Rogan and Elon Musk for $1. Joe Rogan bet that he could pierce the Cybertruck with his compound bow. So I'm going to share it with you. Here we go. And look at Elon smoking a cigar. He's enjoying it. So make sure it's turned up. Here we go.
I have a different project, I think. Bring it back. We'll see. We'll get set here. Have an arrow coming. I'm going to shoot the door. I mean, beware ricochets. You might want to do it at a slight angle.
It's fun to make $1 bet.
You know what I mean? There it is. Very well. See this? Blew the arrow apart. Oh, nice. Yeah. Flatten the tip of the arrow. Look at the tip of the broadhead. Oh, that's impressive.
Hey, cutie.
Thank you. Well, now we know. So we just shot an arrow into it, and it barely scratched it. Barely scratched it.
Yeah.
It was probably moving 275 feet a second. That was a 525 grain-ish arrow with, even more than that, because it had the 125 grain head, so that was 545 grains. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive. It just destroyed the broadhead. The broadhead flattened at the tip, and then the arrow blew apart.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I guess he lost the bet and had to dress up as Elon's cheerleader. Is that why he's wearing that outfit? I just thought that was hilarious. So I wanted to open up with that because I do try to have a few funny things if I can find one. But that was classic. I really, really, really like that one. So I wanted to play that. But let me stop sharing that really quick. And then let's go to the next one I have here. Just give me 1 second. Poop. Okay. Now, sorry, I'm really slow at this. One day I'll have a producer that helps me. That would be really cool. Okay, I think this is it. Let me make sure. Yeah. All right. This was a leaked video of Mark Zuckerberg warning his staff not to take the COVID vaccine. And then he censored scientists, doctors, and the mRNA vaccine injured individuals. See, that's one reason why in 2020, I personally left Facebook. And every so often, still after all these years, I still get a email saying that someone's trying to get in, log into your Facebook account because they don't want to delete all the ones that people have gotten rid of. Okay, and the reason they don't want to is they don't want to keep them, simply because they won't get the advertising for all the numbers of people who drop. What happened to my chats? What chats? Did you have some chats somewhere? I'm trying to think about the next distraction. I don't know. I try to keep my eyes open, and I'm always trying to keep eyes in the back of my head also. So no, I'm not ready. I don't think so. At least I haven't seen anything yet that I would say is a distraction. But that's why I always put so much stuff on here. I mean, I got stuff that a lot of people never even saw or heard, just because I think it's important that we put out as much stuff as we can. But I want to play this for you because a lot of people are still in the mindset that, it was all legit, this whole thing, but I really don't believe it. But here we go.
I share some caution on this because we just don't know the long-term side effects of basically modifying people's DNA and RNA to directly encode in a person's DNA and RNA, basically the ability to produce those antibodies, and whether that causes other mutations or other risks downstream. So
pretty scary that he knew that it could alter your DNA. Okay, I thought he was just as a dweeb like the rest of us. I'm just so thankful that I just didn't do it. That I just had I had a good doctor that told me he didn't recommend that I did it, and I started looking into it more and more and more. And I'm just very, very thankful that I didn't do it. But I can tell you right now, on last night's show, I was talking about Fauci because he did some things about talking about how he had to force people, make them so desperate, for work and food and a place to live and take care of their families and stuff, that they'll get the vaccine. And that he was really upset when 70% of America didn't get it, things like that. Not 70%, but only 70% of Americans got the jab. And then he was talking about other countries that were over 80-something% vaccinated. And so I can just see how we're going to be dwindling down to fewer and fewer of us because so many people are sick. I've lost so many friends. It's really sad. And a few family members that are very ill. It's really bad. I mean, from what I'm seeing, and I guarantee that Fauci's family and Fauci didn't get it. And I guarantee this lizard guy right here in front of us didn't get it. And I guarantee he didn't give it to any of his loved ones. He made sure no one got it. So I would love to have all of these people have to get tested in front of everyone else to prove that they never did it. But they told you to get it. They told all of you guys to get it. Or you're a horrible person trying to kill people. I mean, I had people bringing me tests every week, every single week. People in my family, you need to get tested. You need to get tested. I'm not doing it. And I kept threatening that I'd leave. I'd pack my shit and I'd move out of my house and I'd go to another town or whatever. People didn't stop hounding me, but it got really bad. And it's really sad that we get in a position like that to where we have to defend ourselves from our own family members because they won't stop hounding you. It's really bad. But yeah, I just got a big jumbled mess of lots of different things because there's so many things that are opening up, and then there's other things that are good things that have already happened, and then there's things that the door is cracking open, here and there. So I don't know. I think it's nice to see that we're having a few good things happening one at a time. Whoops, I got to push pause on that. Opened up. Didn't mean to do that yet. Okay. Yes, here's the next one. This one I thought was pretty cool. I'm excited about it. And he's been saying he was going to do this for a while. Trump did. So the fact that he did it is a great. So here we go. I'm going to open this up, make sure it's turned up, and play it for you. Here we go.
Dr. Michio Kaku is a theoretical physicist. Doctor, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about this UFO release?
I would put it at a 10 because we're at a turning point. For decades, we had to rely upon eyewitness accounts of housewives, truck drivers. People would snicker and laugh at them. Now we're talking about huge files that are top secret that for the first time in modern history are being given to the American public. So I'd like to congratulate President Trump for having the nerve to go against recommendations by the FBI and the CIA to release these files so that independent researchers, scientists can go over them and we can make up our own minds rather than having the CIA make up our minds.
And the CIA apparently is still fighting the full release. When you hear or see about a UFO that goes like that, up, down, left, right, at 90-degree angles so fast you can't even believe it, what does that tell you?
It tells me that the laws of centrifugal force should crush the bones of the people inside the flying saucer. So either there is basically an automated flying saucer, so there are no bones to crack as the thing goes zigzagging left and right, or it represents a very high level of intelligence to create something like that. So in other words, we humans cannot get into a spaceship that goes zigzagging like that. Only aliens can, but even their bones would break. So it must be a very high level of automated computer technology.
That is just really cool that because Trump said he was going to release the UFO files that he was going to get. I think it was Hegseth or whoever was in charge of this certain department to be able to start releasing the stuff. So I think we're going to see more and more stuff. And what's really good about it is every time I've ever seen any of these shows on TV that release something and they say, send us your ideas, and make us the sleuths to figure it out. I think it helps. I think way more young minds that are out here, not working for the government, are smart enough to figure some things out and maybe even help with certain things. So I'm really glad that they did that. But what's really good is that it's not just that one video. I have another one that I want to share. So let me get it. Just give me 1 second. That has to do with the UFO stuff too. So let me get to it. I gotta go down this list because I got so many of them. Where is it? I think it's this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I'm gonna push pause. Okay. Trump administration just released the first batch of classified UFO documents and videos ordered by Trump. Unresolved footage includes, and then it has a whole list of stuff, and I'll share the link for this because I'm sure a lot of people are going to want it, but I want to open this up so you guys can watch this. It's really good.
An alien life.
So is the truth really out there?
Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy joins us live with the details. What have you learned, Peter?
Good morning. So a White House official left this hard drive on my desk overnight. You can see on it, it says AARO files copy 203. That is the all domain resolution office copy 203. This is the first big batch of UFO disclosure ordered by President Trump. Some of the clips and videos on there have popped up different places before. Some of them have not. And we have been going through this all morning and overnight to try to put together some of the best videos so we can all look at this together. This is a world exclusive right here. So let's go to the first clip over the skies of the United Arab Emirates in June 2024. An inverted teardrop with a vertically linear trailing mass, as described by the War Department, suspended below. The War Department cannot say for sure what this is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP report. The next video, over the skies of Iraq, December 2022, moving bottom left to top right of the field of view. All CENTCOM gets from this is an area of contrast. That's what they describe it as. It is officially still listed as an unresolved UAP report. Next video, over the skies of Greece, October 2023. What is described as a small and circular UAP flying near the surface of the ocean towards land. CENTCOM can't tell us what it is. It is officially listed as an unresolved UAP report. Within the last 2 minutes, all of these videos have gone live on war.gov/UFO, and a White House official tells Fox First, while past administrations sought to discredit or dissuade the American people, President Trump is focused on providing maximum transparency to the public, who can ultimately make up their own minds about the information contained in these files. And there's also a fresh look at some historical records. There's this from Apollo 17 included in this big.
I just thought that was really, really interesting. But what's funny is there's a lot of people that don't believe it, and there's a lot of people that do. There's still people that don't believe that we've been to the moon or even in outer space, and that the Earth is flat. And then there's others that believe the Earth is hollow, and that the Earth has creatures, dinosaurs, and stuff living in the middle of the Earth. I mean, there's so many different points of view, which is, you know, everyone has the right to believe whatever they want. But the thing is that it's out there now. Okay, either you want to believe it, you don't have to. And no one's going to force you to have to believe anything. The thing is, it should be out there for people to look at. I mean, I remember all these movies when I was a little kid coming out, and different shows on TV, you know, about outer space and aliens and ghosts, you know, and different things like that. So, you know, I think it's awesome. I'm glad that young people, young kids are going to get to explore by watching these videos, maybe make their dad take them and get them a telescope so they can start looking at planets. I mean, I read that letter when the astronauts did the circle around the moon. I think it was an 8 or 9-year-old boy had written a letter to the astronauts asking them to please make Pluto a planet again, stuff like that. But the whole thing is it inspires young minds to want to explore what's out there or what isn't out there. And it opens up their mind to something besides playing video games. Okay. I think it's awesome. And I hope more kids decide they want to start looking up to the heavens and see what's there. What is all of this made of? Where does it come from? All those type of things, and get into science, because I think it's really important for young minds to constantly learn every day. We can all learn. No one's too old to learn. You just have to keep using your mind, because guess what? When you sit down in a chair and you just sit like this and you play your little clicker, changing the channels, you slow down. Your mind starts to slow down. Your body slows down. And I don't think you make it as long as a person that's out there learning, reading, investigating, you know, and active. So I hope everyone will try to do that. Try to stay active and try to keep your minds open to something new. But this next thing is good news. And so it is something that is happening that a lot of people don't want to believe is happening, but it is. So here we go. Bring this up. All right. Can anybody see that? Hope you can. It is federal judge sets Comey criminal trial for July 15th in North Carolina. U.S. District Judge Louise Flanagan, who will oversee the trial, instructed Comey's legal team to file all of its pretrial motions by June 5th, and said Comey can make his first official appearance in her court to enter his plea on June 30th. So I'm not going to read the whole article because it's pretty long, but I'm going to get this and share it in the chat for everyone who wants to save it or go read it or whatever. But it's happening. So there you go. You got an arrest and you got a person that's going to go in front of the judge and find out what happens. Now, I got picked for one jury trial for the federal, but I didn't get picked. I didn't get chosen. I was in the jury pool and I got interviewed and stuff. And when I got interviewed, the question was if I had a relative that was in the pen, and I had to say yes. And when I said that, they said, "Well, you can. Thank you for your time. You can go home." So they let me they let me leave. But you know, you just never know. You get all excited about wanting to serve jury duty, and then you know somebody gets arrested that you know, or you're in your family, and they go to prison for really terrible, nasty shit, and it keeps you from being able to find out what it's like to serve on a jury. But you know, they have to do it what they think is right for their clients. But I wanted to share that, so let me close that really quick. And oh, here's one that I posted on my timeline myself because I thought this was interesting. Because just like what somebody was saying earlier, I think it was Shadow, about get ready for the what was it? Let me find it real quick. Distractions or whatever. This is interesting, and I want to share it because I shared it on my timeline. And I posted at the top, looks like they're busy or busing in the ICE protesters to work as hazmat for this whole new scare that they're trying to bring out. It says the footage from the Hontus off Cape Verde. It says hazmat teams in mismatched suits, some taped like amateurs. So you got to work with what you got, right? But the thing is, this is what I think is the distraction for people. So I'm not falling into this trap. I didn't fall into it last time, so I'm not going to this time. And, you know, and I can tell the people in my family that fell in the trap last time to not do it this time, but they're going to do whatever they want to do, just like you are. If you don't want to do it, then you're not going to do it. It doesn't matter how many people tell you. Okay, I want to show you something I think is really funny that they seem not to know. Let me go fast forward real quick. Okay, there's one, a person with all their hair hanging out. And there's another guy right there with a ball cap. Okay, what happens when they go and they take off their paper suits and stuff, even if they spray them down, okay, with the chemical mist or whatever, and they wash their hands, they're going to put their hat back on. She's going to brush her hair or pull it up in a bun after it's been exposed. This is ridiculous. So if they think that that's stopping anything, it isn't. Just like the masks don't work, they don't stop viruses, and your eyes are open. Okay. So if you don't have the right kind of stuff on, it doesn't matter. You have to have full hazmat on with breathing apparatus so that you're not breathing this air through some special, really good filter system. But I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous. But right here, this is a distraction. This is part of it right here. I do believe that. So there you go. Is that one of the things that you were talking about or you were thinking about when you were asking me that? So, well, I think that's one of them. But I think it's yeah, big. But before I play this next one, let me go get it real quick. I'm going to do this because I think this is, because we got a lot of bad shit, right? But here's some. That's all right. I made that today. It might be a little bit long. I might have to shorten it a little, but I'm not a pro. I'm practicing still. But I want to share this because it's some good shit, and I think it's a good thing. And I wish we had we'd see more of this every day on the news, but we don't. We just aren't going to. And this is our president. He gave every worker at the Lincoln Memorial a presidential challenge coin and took time to shake each and every one of their hands. These are the guys that are cleaning the reflecting pond that's in front of the Lincoln Memorial. And he said he couldn't believe Trump, how much garbage that he was getting out of that. And he's thankful because he's wanting our Capitol to look like we're proud of it. Like we're a proud country, like people that actually stand up at ball games and put their hand over their heart, and stuff like that. You're actually proud to be an American. I'm proud. I'm a proud American. I say the pledge, and I thank veterans every chance I get a chance. I thank them because of them, I get to be free, and their sacrifices. And I think it's wonderful that Trump does these type of things. But here we go. I'm gonna do it. Show you.
I already took it, but I'll take it again, Mr. President. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Did you all get it going now? Did they run out? Thank you.
So, he doesn't have to do any of this stuff. He could sit in the basement just like Biden did. Everyone still loves Biden. Biden. He was so awesome. He was such a wonderful president. Did nothing. And then we got a president that bends over backward for his people. And all I hear is complaining, constantly complaining. When's you going to arrest the Epstein people? That's all I ever hear. It's like, that's the only thing that matters to them. I said, go talk to some of the Epstein victims. Go watch some of their documentaries. Then come back and talk to me. But they don't want to. And most of them don't. They just want something to bitch about. So move on. But I just love this. I thought this was really good. And I'm proud that I have a president that has pride in our country and pride in his people. And the people that voted for him, I still think are proud of him. So I just wanted to share that. I thought that was really nice of him to do that, especially since they're trying to clean up Washington, D.C. and get it to look respectable. Now, this next one I'm going to share is the actual one of the reporters that Trump dissed because of what they were saying about what they're trying to do in Washington, D.C. So I'm going to share that. Let me pause it. I don't know why it keeps starting before I'm even ready for it. But here we go.
You know why? Because I want to keep our country beautiful and safe. Beautiful also. This place was a disgusting place. It was Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and we had a terrible disgust. I don't know, you probably don't see dirt, but I do. And you walk down this pond, if you would have walked down, they'll tell you better than anybody. They had to take 11 or 12 truckloads of garbage out of that lake, out of that water, and it sat there for years like that. And that's not what our country is about. Our country is about beauty, cleanliness, safety, great people, not a filthy capital. It's such a stupid question that you asked. We're fixing up the reflecting pond to the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, and you say, why are you fixing it up? Because you can understand dirt maybe better than I can, but I don't allow it. This is one of the worst reporters. She's with ABC Fake News, and she's a horror show. She's saying, why would you bother fixing this up? Why would I bother taking 11 or 12 truckloads of filth out of the water in front of the Lincoln Monument? That's what made our country great. Beauty made our country, people made our country great. A question like that is a disgrace to our country.
See, I'm proud of him for doing that because we need to have people who respect our country and to ask a question about why you're wasting tax dollars to clean up Washington, D.C. I mean, look where is all these people that are complaining about this and the ballroom when USAID was out there spending money out the wazoo, and when Elon brought all those people in to try to find out all the fraud and Social Security and all that stuff so that they can start trying to fix some of this stuff? Where were all these people bitching and moaning then? The trillions of dollars going to Ukraine and then bouncing back to bank accounts of people that voted a certain way, in our country. So I don't know. I think it's sad and pathetic that we have a group of people that don't want to do anything but point the finger at the people that are trying to do good things. It doesn't make any sense. So it's, yeah. And it's people, when you have a whole bunch of people that live in a city and they're helped, because they can't afford to stay there and they probably don't even have jobs, but they're given everything. I see people driving on the road just throwing stuff out the window. People don't care that their trash is flying around, their cigarette butts are on the ground and stuff like that. They're slobs. And you think it looks bad outside their house. Imagine what it looks like inside. And they have no respect for themselves or where they live or the country that they live in. They just do nothing but complain and expect somebody to pay their way. And it's sad, it really is. But I'm glad to see we got a president that's trying to make a difference, even though a lot of people don't seem to like him for it. It's so stupid to me. But this next thing is pretty disgusting. I was really shocked when I found out about this. And I'm thankful that I do not eat at McDonald's. So if you've been eating at McDonald's, then maybe you should start paying a little bit more attention to what you're putting in your body. But let me pause this. Worms are being found in drinks at McDonald's. And I'll share this link for you. But here you go. I want you to listen to this gentleman.
After customers at a Wisconsin McDonald's found worms inside of their drinks. Now, this unwanted surprise happened to not just one, but 3 customers. Our Milwaukee affiliate, WTMJ, got these photos. One customer posted them to her Facebook page after finding this in the drink that she had ordered from a McDonald's in Paddock Lake. That's in Kenosha County. 2 other customers responded with similar findings. One saying that he had already taken a sip of the drink when he noticed that something fell off.
The worm came through the straw. It went into my mouth. I spit it out in my hand, and I was contemplating life because I've never had something that gross happen to me in my life. It's absolutely disgusting.
That's putting it lightly. Listen to this. A report from the Kenosha County Health Department states that tiles under the soda and ice machines were severely damaged. The department also says that workers told them that they had noticed worms coming out of a sewage outlet. Well, management says that they hired a pest control company. WTMJ contacted that McDonald's location directly. The manager said they're not permitted to comment. We'll be right back.
That's all we can do. Go to break.
That is disgusting. And the fact that they found out it was coming from the sewage is really gross. And I hope that they compensate all the people, at least the 3 that had proved that they had worms in their food. That is disgusting. So disgusting. But that's what happens when you have a breakdown in your cities. Okay. When your cities don't use their inspectors and they don't inspect, the lunchrooms at your kids' schools, the restaurants, in the kitchen, how hot the water is that's washing the dishes, all those different things all matter. And then we get upset because you go home and you get a stomach ache, because your food wasn't cooked properly or people weren't washing their hands. I showed that one video. It was like, I guess about 6-8 months ago. And it was an undercover guy that was blowing the whistle on the Somali people in Minnesota that worked at this one food preparation, like factory or whatever. I think it was some type of mixed vegetables type thing that they were doing. But he was saying that people were just pulling their pants down and crapping all in there. People, not dogs, and that they were peeing and urinating in the sinks and stuff like that, and that they'd constantly tell them, hey, you can't do that, you're supposed to use the bathroom. But these are people that aren't raised here. Okay, these are people that are not assimilating. They're just pushed in and given jobs and a place to live because they want cheap labor for their company. They don't care whether or not these people with these nasty hands and tracking in and out of people's human feces all over the bags of food, who got it? It's sickening to think about it. So I'm telling you, we have got to start cracking down on these people, because somebody is making a lot of money off of cheap labor, and you're the one that's at risk. Because I can tell you right now, when they know this and that and the other, what they're making in these factories, they're not going to eat it. They're not going to let them feed that to their families, just like they're not going to get the shots or anything else. They're going to get it to you. And you're paying for it. You're paying for all these people to be flown here and put in special places. And it's all of it is disgusting. The more I think about it, it's just so freaking gross. But I wanted to share that because I just couldn't believe it. It was so disgusting. But let me close that one. Let's see, what is this one? Oh yeah, okay. Here's another one. Another interview that came across my timeline, but it looks like a little bit more is being added over and over and over again. And that's the thing, is that we're getting a pile now. We have plenty. I think that's what I talked about earlier, is that Comey is supposed to be going to his first day in court. And I think his court case is like the 15th of June 15th for federal court in North Carolina. So he is going. So we'll see how that goes. And maybe he'll not want to go to jail and start squealing and give some goodies on a few other people, because I'm sure he has something put away somewhere. It's because of the people he was dealing with. And if you deal with those kind of people, you better have some kind of weapons of your own, because if you don't, I don't know what's going to happen to you. But I want to share this interview with Cash. So let me open it up and play it.
It took me 2 years of my life to prove the following: that a political party in the United States of America in the 21st century would go overseas and hire some bogus intelligence asset to manufacture fraudulent, fake, unverified information, funnel that to not just the intelligence community, but the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and then take those packaged lies that they had paid for with campaign finance funds and go into a secret surveillance court and illegally spy on your opponent to be the next president of the United States. I think that was 45 seconds. That took 2 years of my life. And what did we find out? The FISA court themselves came back and said these warrants were illegal, that the FBI did not provide evidence of exculpatory evidence and innocence, and that the FBI essentially lied in those applications. It took me 2 years of my life to prove the following: that a political party in the United States of America in the 21st century would go overseas and hire some bogus intelligence asset to manufacture fraudulent, fake, unverified information, funnel that to not just the intelligence community, but the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and then take those packaged lies that they had paid for with campaign finance funds and go into a secret surveillance court and illegally spy on your opponent to be the next president of the United States. I think that was 45 seconds. That took 2 years of my life. And what did we find out? The FISA court themselves came back and said these warrants were illegal, that the FBI did not provide evidence of exculpatory evidence and innocence, and that the FBI essentially lied in those applications. It took me 2 years.
That is amazing, because he talked about this before he got picked for the position that he had. And yeah, I'm sorry. I had to put some lip gloss on. My lips are chapped. Sorry. But it's amazing to me of how serious he is about it, because he talked about it before he even got picked, and he's put up with a lot of shit already. So I can't wait. But it's going to start. It's already starting in June when Comey goes to court. We're going to start hearing more and more good stuff. I think more people will be indicted and have court dates before that happens. So we will see. We will see. But you know, we got to start somewhere, and we're starting. So to me, that's really, really important that we've got to start, because for as long as I've been alive, I don't remember anybody ever doing any of these things, or you know, any of this stuff. And people were saying to me when I was talking about P. Diddy getting arrested, when they raided his homes and stuff like that, and they said nothing will happen to him. Well, guess what? He's in prison. Yeah, he didn't get every thing that was attached to him. All of it didn't stick. But now he have people lining up for civil suits against him for some of the other things that the federal government couldn't bring against him, because it's either got to be a state done thing or federal. Okay, it can't. If it's not a federal, the federal government that has to do with, you know, all the uppers, you know, in the FBI and all that, they're not going to prosecute for that. That has to be the states. And if the states don't want to get off their ass because they're shiny blue and pretty, then that's whose fault is that? You can't blame that on Trump. You can't blame that on this administration. That has to do with those states. Go to those states. And if you're in those states, you should start writing letters, making phone calls, and getting groups of people to, you know, protest or something. Do something to stand up for what you believe in your own state, you know. I'm pretty lucky. I have Sarah Huckabee Sanders, my governor, and you know, she wouldn't even let the Chinese buy property. She gave them their money back and told them to get the hell out of Dodge. So we're pretty lucky. But you know, it only lasts until the next person's elected, right? So you have to stay on the ball. You have to hold the people that we put in office accountable, even if it's just your county clerk, you know, or your mayor or your sheriff, or your deputies, whoever it is. So that's all on us. And either we do it or we don't. And if we don't do it, then shut the fuck up. That's how I look at it. So, oh well, I can't help it. I get very, very, very riled up over this. But here's another one that's pretty good, I think. Another little tidbit of news. So let me push pause. Okay.
In a recent interview, former President Barack Obama said,
okay, General Todd Blanche pulls out his copy of the Constitution and shows CBS the Constitution gives the president the power to direct the Justice Department. This is really good. So here we go. I'm going to push play and make sure it's turned up.
In a recent interview, former President Barack Obama said, and I quote, "The White House shouldn't be able to direct the Attorney General to go around prosecuting whoever the president wants to prosecute." You're the Attorney General. What is your response?
Well, coincidentally, I happen to have, I think, a copy of our Constitution. So if we want, we can read our Constitution together. Article 2 says the executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America. It does not say that the Attorney General stands off to the side. So I'm an acting Attorney General. The Attorney General is a member of the cabinet of the President of the United States. The Constitution gives the president power. So I question people in this country that suggest that President Trump, as the chief executive of the United States, does not have the authority or the right or shouldn't be leading this country in all areas, including what we need to be doing to get rid of crime in this country. And so I'm not familiar with the comments you just talked about, but to the extent that President Trump calls me and says that he thinks that we have a problem in this country, whether it's this scourge of drugs, illegal immigration, every American wants him to do that, and he should.
But the accusation here from the former president is that your department is now charging political adversaries of the president or perceived political adversaries of the president on his behalf to settle scores, essentially.
There's something extraordinarily rich about a Democrat suggesting that this administration is charging our political adversaries. I mean, first of all, we're not. Second of all, how about we think about what happened the past 4 years? It wasn't just President Trump that got indicted repeatedly in multiple district courts, in multiple jurisdictions, but it was also his entire administration, what was called into the grand jury. Members of his Secret Service detail had to testify in the grand jury. So I welcome criticism. Let's go. But let's, if you're sitting in a glass house, you ought not throw stones.
Wow, that's pretty good. I mean, everything that we saw. Look at Rudy Giuliani. He's penniless. He lost his career. They took everything from him because he wouldn't stop about the election fraud. So it's disgusting. These people they're so freaking nasty. And Obama's, you know, they bought a beautiful mansion over in England. So I don't even know if they're in the United States right now. The thing is they knew that when they got that money, they got all their stash, they better get out of Dodge. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of crooked people that think their shit don't stink. And we, the people, deserve to see some of these people that are just people like you and I. They put their shoes on the same way as we do. They pull their pants down, most of them, to take a dump. You know what I mean? So they're just like us, and they deserve to be punished too. If they break the law, we need to put them behind bars where they belong. I don't care who they are. And if we have the evidence, let's take them to court. Let's see it. And that's what we can do. We could do that. The states, one state at a time, start rounding up people and prosecuting people for fraud, theft, trafficking, whatever it is that they're doing. One thing at a time. This one, that one, that one, or multiple things. You got different agencies for different things, and they're doing stuff now. They're doing stuff every single day. And, you know, that's what I voted for. I voted for to clean up my country, to get rid of illegals, people that are draining our system, that aren't assimilating. They need to be taken off our checks. You know what I mean? That they shouldn't be allowed to drain and siphon our money. But slowly, one state at a time, good things are happening. Here's one I want to share with you. I think it's is it this one? Yeah. Okay. Tennessee. This is a good one right here. Okay, this is awesome. Let me push pause on here. Tennessee House passes 2026 redistricting, and liberals have thrown the chamber into a complete and utter chaos. It says that the Congress people are getting mad and throwing fits and leaving when they had the vote in this state for Tennessee. Here we go. Look over here.
All right, 64-25 days, 3 president outvoted. House Bill 7003, having received a constitutional majority, I hereby declare passed without objection. A motion to reconsider is tabled. Leader Lambert, you're recognized. Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The rules be suspended for immediate introduction and consideration of HJR number 22.
What a mess.
House Joint Resolution 22, by Leader Lambert, the resolution to provide for the adjournment signed off of the second extraordinary session of the 114th General Assembly. You heard the caption. Any objections? Without objection, the rules are suspended. Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move adoption of HJR number 22.
Leader Lambert moves adoption of House Joint Resolution 22, properly seconded. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. All those in favor of House Joint Resolution 22 say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes declare it adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is tabled. Leader Lambert, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the Journal of the House of Representatives and the proceedings thereof be approved by the first through the third legislative day of the second extraordinary session of the 114th General Assembly.
Without objection, so ordered. Leader Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to House Joint Resolution number 22, I move the House of Representatives of the second extraordinary session of the 114th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee adjourned. Signed.
In accordance with House Joint Resolution number 22, I hereby declare the second extraordinary session of the House of Representatives of the 114th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee adjourned. Signed up.
Wow, that was like a madhouse. I mean, you couldn't hardly even tell what was going on because you got all these people up here causing all that chaos, doing those little spinny deals and blowing little horns, tooting horns and screaming and whistling, and just causing utter chaos so that they could try to stop these people from being able to communicate with each other to do their jobs. Okay, so it's really sad when you see people throw tantrums. It's like you have your kids, you have 3 kids, okay, and you go to the grocery store. I'll just do it as a mom or a single dad or whatever. You're at the store with your kids and you're by yourself, okay, you don't have the other parent. And you got one kid that starts acting out and they keep asking, I want that. And you keep saying no. And they start getting louder and louder. Then they lay on the ground and start screaming at the top of their lungs and rolling around on the ground, screaming, and snot, doing all that stuff. And all you can do is either most likely end up getting your kids and taking them back out to the car and going home because you're not going to be able to get any shopping done because your kid is not going to let you. Okay. So the thing is, that's what these people sound like. You can't get anything done because they bitch and moan and complain until you quit. So when you quit and you give them another day, they figure out, we'll talk to a couple more people and get them to change their mind because it's easier to just shut up and let them do what they want than have to listen to that shit every single day. And I'm proud of these people standing up for what they believed in and voting anyways. And I got this next video to show you what happened when they finished the vote because it was for the gerrymandering. And they were able to get the redistricting done, and they were very happy about it. A few of them were, but some of them were not happy. But look at this. This is hilarious. When I got this, after I saw that chaos, okay, look at this guy. He shows up wearing his flag. And a lot of people are pissed off about it because they were fuming. The Democrats lost. They lost their districting map. It didn't make it so that they reset it the way it was before they had taken over and won every election because of the way they had a district. I don't understand how that works because I'm not, I'm not, I guess, really smart when it comes to that stuff. But look at this guy. He's so proud to wear his flag, and he should be able to. I mean, it's not illegal for him to do that. So, and if it pisses off a few people, they can just ignore them and walk off or turn the channel, just like a lot of people do. But I had to share this because I just thought that was really funny. And this was after their win from the horrible mess that you just saw going on in there. They lost because they didn't get what they wanted. So they threw a fit. And that's basically what that was. And I just wanted to share that with you because I thought it made me laugh. And every time I've seen it, I get a big grin on my face. But, that's what you got to do to fight back. And when there's nothing wrong with pride, in a way, it's just like the movie Rocky when he won and he put a flag on and ran around the ring, because he was excited and happy that he won. There's nothing wrong with that. The football players doing the same thing on the field, showing pride in their team. I think it's great. And maybe if we started doing that more and we showed that we're not afraid to be proud that we won something, that we worked really hard and we're proud that it happened, maybe more people won't be so afraid to voice their opinions. Mm-hmm. I get lots of, horrible hate. We get tons of hate and death threats and stuff. But guess what? I'm still doing it. I'm even doing it by myself. So, if people don't want to watch, they don't have to. I'm not forcing anybody. I'm not tying anybody down to their chair and putting this in front of them, making them watch it. If they don't want to watch, they don't have to. They don't have to tune in at all. But I'm still going to do it. And I'm paying to do it. So there you go. one day, if I do make enough money, if I make $25 a month, at least that'll pay just for my StreamYard. It's not going to pay for my internet or any of my other stuff that I have to have. But, that would be great if that ever happens. But I'm not going to, bet my life on it. I'm just doing this because this is my social life and I enjoy doing it. And I like sharing information with other people. But I just thought it was great because Tennessee is, something good happened in the state of Tennessee. So they should be proud of themselves. I'm happy for Tennessee to, be able to have some pride and show some pride, shake each other's hands or whatever else. And the next election, they'll feel a little better about the way things are. Now they just have to make sure that they have good people working the polls and willing to do what needs to be done to make sure it's fair and there's no cheating going on. Because honestly, when Obama won, I wasn't real happy because I didn't vote for him because I don't believe in his views on things when it comes to the government. But I didn't think he cheated. I honestly didn't think about it. I didn't think about cheating. But then the whole thing happened when with Biden. After working the polls and stuff and seeing what was going on, it was blatantly obvious they were cheating. You can't have more votes counted than people that voted. It's just impossible. But they got away with it. Anyways, they got away with ridiculously impossible things, but they got away with it. So that's what's ridiculous. That just shows me how messed up our government really is when you can cheat that bad and still not get caught. It's so disgusting. But I would have got arrested if I'd been in my polling area working and cheated like that. I'd be in prison right now. And most of us would be too. But because they knew the right people, it's pretty sad when certain people can get away with cheating that awfully. And nothing changes. It's really sickening. Let's see. I'll just pull this one up. I don't know if it's the one I was going to do yet, but I'm going to start pulling them up. Okay, we push pause. Okay. All right. A federal judge has ruled the Trump DOJ can officially keep 600 plus ballot boxes that were seized by the FBI in Fulton County, Georgia. So it's starting to spread to the different states now. The DOJ does not have to return any election materials. Fraud is about to come out. The Dems are in full-blown panic mode. But guess what? I'm one of the few people that doesn't believe it's just Democrats. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of rhinos that we have right now that absolutely hate Trump. You know why they hate Trump? They hate him because he's stopping the fraud. And a lot of those rhinos are getting paid also. The little refund checks or whatever from Ukraine or wherever these USAID money went. A bunch of them, I think, are also getting in their pockets. And that's why they hate Trump. Because anyone that's voting to stop all this stuff from coming out, they have to be involved. Why else would you say no? Why else would you say no not to release the names of this person or that person that we know with trafficking children? That kind of stuff. There's only one reason why they wouldn't do that. So I don't know. I just think that a lot more is coming out than we're going to be ready for. And I hope that we have enough jails, enough judges. That's what we need. We need good judges. That's our problem.
FBI agents are going through materials found today during a search of the Fulton County, Georgia election office. That search is said to be related to the 2020 election. Correspondent David Spunt has details tonight. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening. FBI agents are still on site at the records warehouse for the Fulton County, Georgia Board of Elections. The matter is sealed before court, meaning details are limited, but we can report this is related to the 2020 presidential election. Sources tell Fox News that agents retrieved documents, phones, and computers after a judge signed a warrant. President Trump has long made Georgia, and specifically Fulton County, a target of his complaints relating to the 2020 elections. Shortly after that election, Trump spoke to Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, and said he needed 11,780 votes to win the state. At the time, Raffensperger said he felt pressure from Trump and denied any widespread election fraud. He continues to deny it to this day. Now, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis brought state criminal charges against then former President Trump and others in 2023 for conspiracy to overturn the election. But her prosecution, Brett, was eventually derailed completely after it was revealed she had an intimate relationship with the top prosecutor on her team, and it could have tainted the case. Late last year, a judge dismissed the case in its entirety. Now, Brett, last month, the Justice Department sued Fulton County, Georgia, seeking access to 2020 voting records after state officials allegedly failed to respond to a subpoena. Fox News has learned the head of the FBI's Atlanta field office was recently forced out in recent days, but it's unclear, Brett, if this is all related.
Yeah, one of the things that I remember watching, so I know there's some evidence they're never going to get, because I did see shredders, big shredders that were brought in U-Hauls to some of these buildings, and they were taking ballots and putting them in there by the hundreds and hundreds and shredding them. And that's what's sad about it. But is that we're not going to have some of the stuff. And same thing, I think, in Arizona, where that Tina woman is in prison right now in her state, which is not a federal thing. Okay, see, that's another thing. The president can't give her, a free get out of jail free card because it's not federal. A lot of people don't understand that either. But I remember that it was a while back when Trump did something. He did something. And he made all the auto pin that were used to give people pardons or whatever. It's null and void. So those are not legal because they proved that they were not written by the president. They were written by an auto pin, and they don't have for sure know who used it. So if it wasn't the president, then those are null and void. So that's one good thing. So I'm hoping little by little, and that's why we have to do it by the letter of the law. And that's what I try to explain to people. Our country is made of laws rather than men. If the laws are working, even though it's slow, okay, not as fast as people want, because they're so used to Uber and my phone and this and that. It's like they want it now, or F you or whatever type of shit, right? Well, you can't have everything like that. Just like that's one reason why I aired that trial. I aired a bunch of the trial for the little girl who was taken by the FedEx driver. And people were talking about it, and more people were talking about it, more and more, like it just happened yesterday. And I go, she was murdered 4 years ago. 4 years ago, this guy in Texas picked up a little girl in her front yard, put her in the back of his FedEx truck, and murdered her in it. Assaulted her, stomped on her, choked her for over an hour. It was all recorded. He put a sticker over the camera so you could barely see through that, but you could hear everything she was going through, what he was telling her to do to him, everything. It was disgusting. And he's getting a death penalty, but let's see, it might be 15 to 20 years before they actually follow through with it. So the parents got to wait even longer for justice for their little 7-year-old daughter. And that's what I was trying to tell people. If their family can wait and see this guy get what he deserves, we can wait at least through this one administration to see what happens, what unfolds. But no, people don't want to be patient. They don't want to try to let the laws work like they're supposed to, like our forefathers set it up. They just want to complain and cry and moan about it. Every little thing, instead of trying to get in your towns and your states and help the president through your state. But, people have to have something to complain about, I guess. But yeah, man, I'm getting some thunder. I'm hearing some thunder out there. Okay, let's see. Okay, that was about the ballots. Let me get rid of that one. Let me pull up the next one. Oh, yeah, here's another one. Oh, so many things are going on. It's just amazing to me. All right, it's this one. All right, here's something else that you might not have heard about. Let me push pause. Okay, Disney cruise ship scandal explodes. 28 crew members busted for child sex abuse materials. Feds arrest 28 workers from 5 cruise ships, including Disney's Magic in San Diego, in a huge child porn crackdown. Passengers watched in shock as perverts were hauled off. Disney says zero tolerance, but parents are raging. How many more predators are on these family ships? I mean, think about it. They're everywhere. And this is the only way you can get these people. But the thing is, we can't do this when we get them. Bad. We have to put them in prison. And that's why Trump signed that executive order that if you're, if you murder a child under a certain age, you get the automatic death penalty. So I'm all for that. I'm all for it. I've even I signed paperwork when I did my DNA to find out about my heritage. And I got 7 generations up on both sides of my family. I found out some really cool stuff. And guess what? I signed over so that they could use my DNA to see if they can link it to anyone that has been arrested for crimes, because that's how they caught the Golden State Killer that was out there almost for 40 years, killing whole families of people, raping and killing the wives and tying the men up in their bedroom and then murdering them after they had to hear their families being tortured and stuff. Real sick motherfucker, I tell you. And that was all hush hush because they don't have the death penalty in California. So he's just going to live high on the hog until it's time for him to go. And I've had a few people that I've known that were arrested. And I asked them that, why do you keep doing stupid shit to go to jail, robbing a gas station stuff with a gun with no bullets in it, because he goes, that's my retirement. And I'm like, what? And he said, because he doesn't have the money to go to the dentist or the eye doctor and stuff. So whenever he has a toothache or has problems, he breaks the law and gets to go to jail. And guess what? We, the taxpayers, pay to get him new glasses, physicals, surgeries, whatever it is he needs. And that's what he does. So we have revolving doors on our prisons because these people are learning that, hey, look at me. I can get all this stuff taken care of, and I don't even have to pay for it. All I got to do is go to prison. I get 3 meals a day. I get to watch TV. I get to get online. Sometimes you can have visits with women. They can have just about anything they want, and we're paying for it. So until we make some changes, they're just going to keep using it, and abusing it. But that's what happens. It's pretty sad, I think. But yeah, the whole thing with Disney and other, not just Disney, it was other cruise ships too, not just Disney. So I just want to make sure people know that. All right, now this next one is pretty good because a little bit here, a little bit there, different things are going on in different departments of our, of our military in one, and then you got Cash doing stuff, then you get the border people. But Hegseth stripped Miley of his security detail and orders an investigation into his conduct. So finally, here we go. All of this has to be done in certain ways. You gotta submit the stuff and then expect something to happen. So there we go. And this is a start. So we will see what happens and what unfolds with this. But he doesn't have his, we're not having to pay for his security anymore. That's good. And we shouldn't. Anybody that's, in these certain things and are no longer in the administration, why are we having to pay for 24-hour security for these people? They're not in that position anymore. So we shouldn't, the taxpayers shouldn't have to sweat our ass off every day going to work so that so many pennies out of every single dollar that we earn gets to go to them and take care of them so that they have more safety than we do. So I don't know. I just get my ass gets chapped over shit like that when there's people, homeless veterans, which I don't think is right. But I'm going to get this real quick and I'm going to share it in the chat because somebody might want to read the whole thing. And I want to make sure that you're able to get it. I'm putting it in there right now. Okay, there we go. That's in there. So I can get that off. And I'm going to open the next thing I have. Let's see, is this one it? Ooh, oh, I don't know. Let me see. Here we go. I'm opening it. Okay, yeah. This is Anna Paulina Luna, and she's in Congress, and she's got something she wants to say. Here we go.
The fraudulent spending of $32 million out of the pockets of our American people and threw it down the drain to knowingly chase ghosts, all for political gain. This man occupied a position of the highest trust and authority. As chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff launched an all-out political campaign built on baseless distortions against a sitting U.S. president at the expense of every single citizen in this country and the honor of the House of Representatives. With access to sensitive information unavailable to most members of Congress and certainly not accessible to the American people, Schiff abused his privileges, claiming to know the truth, while leaving Americans in the dark about his about this web of lies. Lies so severe that they altered the course of the country forever. Well, the fraudulent spending.
Yes. So she had the balls enough to bring it to the House floor, which is great. She entered into the record the $32 million Adam Schiff misappropriated for the Russia collusion lie. Okay, see how it's all coming together, you guys? Hillary Clinton wanted it because she wanted to win. She wanted to be president of the United States when COVID was going to be released and make sure everybody went to camps if they didn't get jabbed up. I really do believe that. And the look on her face when Podesta went out there and told her she lost, she was, I mean, if she could have shot lasers out of her eyes, she would have, and took off Podesta's head. I mean, like that. That's what she would have done. That's what she looked like. You need to go back and watch those videos. But the thing is that, you know what? We, the people, stopped Hillary Clinton from being president because enough of us said, fuck Hillary Clinton. No fucking way are we going to put up with her shit. And we went and voted. We went and voted to make sure she didn't win. We overwhelmed the system. I mean, we whacked them. I mean, it's because of us showing up in record numbers is the only reason why we didn't get stuck with Hildebeest. I'm telling you, we are so lucky. So lucky. And I'm thankful. I thank God every day that she did not win. I'm telling you, Biden was bad enough, but Hillary would have been 10 Bidens. I really do believe that because she is pure evil. I can't stand the woman. I absolutely can't stand her. And that's my opinion. I have a right to have it. She is disgusting. I mean, she is repulsive and disgusting. And she was when she was in the state of Arkansas. Because I can remember her under oath saying she never saw any of these documents in the Whitewater scandal. If you want to go back and look at that. And she was a lawyer, right? And soon as she's in the White House, guess what? Her fingerprints are found on documents that she swore under oath that she never saw. So the woman can't do anything but lie. It's all she knows. And we dodged a bullet. Our whole world dodged a bullet because there's no telling where we would be right now. If she'd won as president of the United States. Oh, so thankful that we didn't get stuck with that. It can always be worse, people. Everyone says, oh, it can't get any worse than this. It can. I swear to God, it can get worse. She's the devil. I mean, honestly, I worried a while there thinking that she might be the Antichrist because I go, oh, can the Antichrist be a woman? Because I'm telling you, all you got to do is just go back as far as you can and read about this woman. I'm telling you, it's scary. And then the whole movie they made with Tom Cruise starting about Mena, Arkansas, and how they were drug rugging from what was it, Colombia, whatever, to Mena, Arkansas, unloading drugs and selling them and whatever else. I mean, they're nothing but crooks. And hopefully I want to see, that's the one person I would love to see out of all the others I want to see taken down. She's the one. She's the one person I would love to be somewhere in the audience to watch that whole court, that whole thing. I would I don't know what I would do. I get 5 jobs and save money just so I could go and sit way in the back in the courtroom so I could watch this woman fry. And I really would. She's horrible. She's even worse than her husband. I mean, I really do believe that too. That's my point of view, though. It's my opinion about Hillary Clinton. Ooh, it's disgusting. But everyone has somebody, right, that they adore, think there's awesome. So all that stuff one day will come out with the whole frazzle drip stuff with is her name? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Abedin, yeah. That woman, the one that helped her bash all those phones, BlackBerry phones, and used bleach bit on them and hit them with hammers and stuff. That's her pal. Oh, they're disgusting. But let me move on to the next one. I think this is it. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, here's another one. I think it's good. It's another one that's very informative. So here we go. Over a dozen top Washington, D.C. police officials have been placed on leave and face possible termination after being caught manipulating crime data to make it seem lower than it was before Trump's takeover. I think this is great. I mean, because if you're cheating the people in your city that you're supposed to be helping by keeping safe, and you're lying to them about what's going on so that you can skim the money out of the system for whatever you want, it's pretty disgusting. But here we go. It's not very long.
Members of the Washington, D.C. Police Department are on administrative leave tonight after an internal affairs investigation into the alleged manipulation of crime statistics. Washington Post reporting they are facing termination. The district police union is welcoming that decision, saying the move marks a long overdue step toward justice and the restoration of integrity within the department.
Just think about it. All those January 6ers that slept on the floor, and some of them didn't even have clothes or whatever they needed because of such disgusting corruption, right, in that city. To slowly see some of these things being cleaned up and people being arrested and getting out of the system, taken out of the system, hopefully we'll start seeing a change. But you got to start somewhere. That's what the thing is. He's starting somewhere and he's trying to make a difference. The people he put in office. But when Pamwani was in office, arrest indictments were drip, drip, drip. Yes, you're right. It was. But the thing is, just like I said, if Trump gets tired of it, he'll say, what the hell's going on? Get off your ass and do your job. As you've seen at the little tables that they have when they have their meetings, right? And they're all talking about what they're doing and what they're not doing and what they want to see done and when they're going to be able to see something taking place. To me, that's great because you and I get to sit and watch what they're saying to each other every week when they have these meetings. And if Trump is saying this, that, and the other, and they're just sitting there and they haven't done anything, just like I told you guys, I told you that I felt that I don't care who he put in there. If he feels that after a certain amount of time, he's not seeing what he expected from these people, he's going to take them out and put someone else in place. And he's going to do that. And there'll be a couple others. I really do believe they're going to be gone and someone else is going to take their place. They'll move them to somewhere else or something. I don't know. I'm not, in charge of all that, but we shall see, because you got to remember, he still has 3 years left. We still have 3 more years to see what Trump can do and what he can set forth for the next person that steps in. And, if we're lucky and we fight in our states to help, the transition will be really well. Because once you sit every week and see them talking to each other, what's on the table, what they're planning on doing, what they are doing, what they have done, that type of thing, it's kind of hard to go back to having a president that sits in the basement and you never hear nothing. People aren't going to let that happen. People are going to say, what the hell's going on? The last administration told us all this stuff and now you're telling us nothing. Then it's going to get really bad because then the people are going to start standing up against their government. And hopefully that won't happen. We get the rigged elections fixed. We get the gerrymandering cleaned up. We arrest dirty cops and we start getting rid of all of them. Get rid of dirty military members. Slowly clean. What we're going to have to do, though, is we're going to have to me, it looks like we're going to have to make, like, hundreds and hundreds more prisons. What it looks like to me, we better start building them. So I think that we're going to see a big difference if we can do that. But you know what I mean? Yeah, it is. It's hilarious still. People still say it. And I feel sorry for everyone I know that's real name is Brandon. I really feel bad for her, because I'm telling you, that worked really well. But it's the same thing. I have friends named Karen, too, that I knew since I was a kid. And they got that stigma now. So like me, damn it, Janet. I hear that all the time. So, names do sick, depending on what you're stuck to. So at least mom was stuck with a fun movie, not something like, oh, this kind of stuff. I'm happy with that. But it's it's a little here and a little there. The thing is, it's up to us, you and I. We have to fix it. And I mean, in our states, you know what I mean? And we have to hold people accountable. If they're not doing the job that they said they were going to do, we, the people in our states, have to go to those people that we put in office in our state to work with the upper government, and they're not doing it. We got to tell them, we want you out. We want to recall, whatever you have to do, fight for your states to get what you deserve, and get rid of these skanky people that don't want to do their jobs. But let me see. I got one good thing I want to play. If it'll work, I got to see if I can get this up here. Is it this one? Ooh, did you hear that? Ooh, got thunder. Ooh, did you guys hear that thunder? Got some real bad storms rolling in. Hopefully I won't lose my electricity or anything, as I am in Himbleyville. So I'm going to open this up. But before I do anything with it, I want to play this video I made. Hardwick didn't get to see the video I played earlier for my members, but I wanted to play this one because, to me, this is some good shit. Because we've got bad shit going on, has some good shit once in a while too. But this is awesome because Rudy was not doing very well, and he is doing a lot better now. So here we go.
Hey, Jesse. Well, we do have some good news tonight. Rudy Giuliani's team says after being on a ventilator, the 81-year-old is now breathing on his own. We just spoke with his primary care doctor for an exclusive update.
He is a fighter. The way he was yesterday in such critical condition, he did have a priest anoint him, and all the prayers from around the world, it's like a miracle. This guy's got 9 lives. Today, he's doing much better.
Giuliani served as New York City mayor from 1994 to 2001 and became known nationwide for his leadership after the September 11th attacks, earning the title America's Mayor. His spokesperson, Ted Goodman, says the pneumonia is linked to having restrictive airway disease. That's a diagnosis he received after breathing bad air quality in the aftermaths of the attacks. Now, just days before his hospitalization, Giuliani appeared on his online show with a noticeably raspy voice.
Good evening. This is Rudy Giuliani, and this is America's Mayor Live. And my voice is a little under the weather.
While he actively campaigned for President Trump in 2024, Giuliani is known as Trump's top legal advisor during his first term. Now, he did face legal troubles of his own, including disbarment and defamation settlements regarding his efforts to overturn the 2020 election loss to Joe Biden. President Trump calling Giuliani a true warrior and the best mayor in the history of New York City by far. And Jesse, Giuliani's family says that they are grateful for the support and the continued prayers as he recovers here in Florida tonight.
All right, we're pulling.
That's awesome. But see, you got to share good stuff once in a while also. Because you get really sad when you see nothing but sad news every day, all day long. So that's why I like to try to throw in some good stuff. And if you send it to me, because Hardwick, he posts lots of good stuff in my Discord. And I have a few people that post in the shit show chat. But you know, the more I can get, the better. I mean, because I can't be everywhere. I really do try. I try to scour everything I can on all my different applications that I'm on just to find out about different things. And like this one thing I'm about to share with you guys, it's pretty good. It's pretty gruesome too, though. It's really sad that we have a country, a world that we have to watch out for people like this. But this is the kind of stuff that I am big on. It's one of my pet peeves is protecting kids and, you know, human trafficking, that type of stuff. And it's boys and girls. Try to tell people, everybody says, oh, that little girl, look out for the little girl. But you got to look out for the boys too. Okay. Sickos want boys just as much as they want girls. Okay. I hate to tell you that, but it's the truth. So I want to share this with you because it was really, really sad. I got to make sure I open the right one. I think it's this one. No, sorry. I'm so bad at picking these out. I always get the wrong one. I go to the wrong end. Oh, I don't know if this is the right one or not. I think it is, but let me see. Nope. I might as well play this one and then I'll play the next one since this one's the one I opened up. So here we go.
I think they're getting desperate because, I mean, the reason we're seeing this extreme amount of hatred and violence is because we're actually succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste. If we weren't succeeding in getting rid of corruption and waste, they wouldn't care. But we are succeeding. Without President Trump, this would be impossible. So I just like to say, you know, it's only possible with this president.
He's right. That's another thing. A couple times I would in spaces or whatever, I tell people that you know, somebody posted something or sent me a DM about wanting to me to kill myself on another planet, or they're gonna, if I wake up one morning, they're gonna be standing above me, you know, with a knife. Things like just horrible stuff. I get tons of horrible stuff because people don't like me because of my point of view, or maybe I'm too mouthy. Maybe I should be wearing a burqa, you know, that kind of stuff. I don't know. But the thing is, it just makes me want to do more. Okay, that's what it does. I'm very, very stubborn like my mother. But I've had other people tell me that you're doing the right thing then. Because if you're pissing people off and you're pissing on the right people, you're pissing the right people off, then you're definitely over the target. So just keep doing what you're doing. And sooner or later, you know, it'll get better. And I do believe it is getting better. But it's truthful. You know, I'm not going to share a bunch of stuff that I think is bullshit. I try to share if it's in the news on certain channels, and if enough people are talking about it, or even if certain people were talking about it, I'll share it because I have a hard time with some people trusting them. But it takes time. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit more, and more people will start opening up to it. And the reason I feel this way is because my parents were different than a lot of people, because my father's family was from Nova Scotia, New York, Maine, all up in New England, right? And then my mother's family was from Oklahoma, Indian Reservation, and Texas and Arkansas. So you got that group of people, two totally different backgrounds, educations, and everything, and they met and they fell in love, and they had 5 daughters, and I'm one of them. I'm the middle one. But the thing is that I spent a lot of time with my dad. So I like fishing and hiking and hunting and cleaning squirrel, cooking over a fire pit, that kind of stuff. I love all that. I grew up doing it, riding horses, riding in rodeos. And my mother crocheted and sewed, and she was a secretary. She did all those different things. And I did some of those things with my mother. But I grew up listening to Democrats and liberals from up north and a few conservatives mixed in there. But guess what? There were military on both sides. Okay. and getting to travel back and forth and be loved, even though maybe the parents didn't all agree. They loved me and they loved my sisters because we were their grandbabies, right? So I got the best of both sides, is what I'm trying to say. So I got to listen to the good stuff from both sides. And that's why I'm not a straight conservative. There's a lot of things that I lean one way or the other. But if you steal, it's wrong. If you lie enough to get somebody to do something they normally wouldn't do, and it hurts people, that's wrong. Making fun of people, picking on people, being a bully is wrong. All these different things. But guess what? Both sides believe that. It's just that the way we go about doing things is different, how they want to get answers. But then you have some that lean way too far over, that they will hurt other people to get their point of view across. And that's not good. Because if you hate Trump so much that you want to see our country being invaded and become a Muslim country or any of these other things, simply because you hate someone that much, you need help. You need therapy. You need something, because you're hurting people. And future generations won't have a life at all anywhere near ours, simply because they'll be shunned, because they won't be able to do anything, because they'll have no rights. They're going to lose their rights. So that's one reason why I think I look at things differently than other people, because of the way I was raised. That doesn't mean I'm better than anyone. It just means that that's one of the reasons why I believe on getting as much evidence as you have, get the facts and lay them out and make your decisions then. You know, it's just like saying, oh, we're going to buy a house or a car. You don't just go on a car lot and buy the first car you see. Nobody does that. That's not common sense. Common sense, a lot of thunder out there, is where you shop around and you get the best deal you can for your money. Because if you got 3 different car dealerships that all want to make a sale to you, and you say, well, I want this, this, and this, whichever one of you can give me those things, the best deal, the best price, that's who I'm buying from. And guess what? If they really want to make a sale, they're going to wheel and deal with you, and you will get a good deal because you shopped around. But if you just go in and take whatever, guess what? You're the sucker. You're the one that's going to end up with the lemon, and you're going to have problems with that car for the rest of the time you own it, simply because you were too lazy to take time to find the best deal. And that's why I do what I do. I think it's important that we all do that. Do it for your kids, do it for yourself, and do it for the people you care about. Save money for your company, whatever it is. Look into the best deals that you can get with the most hands-on, looking around. What's the best way to use this? What's the best way to keep it in shape? All those things. Because when you buy something, you got to take care of it too. If you buy a car and you never change your oil, it's not going to last you very long, is it? So that's why it's important. And now we have a country that we're trying to clean up and fix. But once we get it there, if nobody keeps the upkeep, we're going to end up right back in the gutter again. So we have to have younger people watching and seeing the transparency of what we're supposed to have, so that when it starts to happen again, they can say, hey, that's not right. We should have these things every week, so we know what's going on, so we can make better decisions. But that's just the way it is, I believe, if we want to keep it fair for everyone. It shouldn't matter if you're a man or a woman or what your skin tone is. I don't even think a skin tone should even be in the census. What difference does it make what color you are when you're filling out a census of how many kids you have or how many elderly people you have? Things like that. Totally different. Your skin tone should have nothing to do with how many classrooms you need in a class or in a school. You see what I mean? Or how many buses you're going to need to pick the kids up and take them to school. It's nothing to do with their skin color. So I think that's ridiculous. But that's the way I look at things. So let me turn this off again. Go to the next thing. Okay, I think that was it. Yeah, I'm going to turn that one off and close. I'm trying to close the ones I've already done. That way I won't open them back up. Now, I think it's this called Right Angle News. Nope. Author Kwan. Okay, that's the one I need to open. So give me a second. Yeah, this is very interesting. And I want you guys to see it. All right, I'm going to push pause once it starts. Oh, God, please don't let my internet go out. Okay, went away. Years ago, when I was young, I remember watching a show with this guy. It was called To Catch a Predator. Okay. And what they did was they would have a house that they rented, and they would talk to all their cyber people were talking to people online. And they would be thinking the people they were talking to thought the person that was working for this gentleman were underage kids, girls and boys, okay, 14, 13, 12, 11 years old. And these people would send them nude pictures, say all kinds of nasty stuff to these young people that they thought they were communicating with, because they would see their picture or whatever too. And then they would invite them. They say, my mom and dad are not going to be here. You can come over on this day. And when they'd show up, they'd bring alcohol and condoms and toys and all kinds of nasty, perverted stuff, because these people are perverts, right? So they would be arrested and, booked or whatever. And you'd find out a little bit about them by these interviews like he's about to do with this gentleman. But I think it's very important that we do this. And I don't think this is, I had a couple men that I talked to about it when it was on TV years ago, that was entrapment. And I'm like, how can you say it's entrapment when they're willingly typing at their home on a computer to someone they think is 14 years old? How is that entrapment? Because it's not a real 14-year-old. You think a real 14-year-old should be put in a room with all these cyber people and let them talk to an adult and show them their penis and do all that different stuff? You think that's okay with a 14 or 13-year-old? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's entrapment. If they think that's what they're going to get, then, and they find it it's a cop, well, too bad for them. Maybe they should have just kept it in their imagination. You know what I'm saying? But I want to share this because this is the kind of stuff I want to see more of. And that's why I show every chance I can where we've arrested 50 or 75 or 22 or whatever amount of predators and getting them off the streets and saving the kids. Because to me, that's important. I did some last night too from Shepherd's Watch Foundation. I shared some of their stuff because that's what they do. They save people from these people. And I want to share this because it's I think it's important. This gentleman he's talking to is because he thought he was socializing with a 15-year-old boy. So here we go.
We're involved in security for the Israeli president, Netanyahu. Did you meet the Israeli leader?
I'm sorry, I'm not answering any questions so I can speak to an attorney.
You sent photos of your penis erect? You told the boy you ruined your shorts, meaning you ejaculated while you were talking to him. You asked for explicit pictures of him. You say the age of consent in Maryland is 16. This boy is 15. You knew this was illegal. And you had multiple chances to not commit this crime, but you did anyway. Which makes me wonder how many times you've gotten away with it before. Do you have CSAM on your phone?
I'm sorry, I'm not answering any questions so I can speak to an attorney.
You talk about being busy in training. The boy says his parents will be out of town at a work conference. How long was your drive over here today from your home in Maryland?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not answering any questions so I speak to an attorney.
You talked about taking him out after getting to know him for cheesesteaks. And if it goes well, you say, you'll meet the monster at the end of the happy trail. Just tell me what you meant by that.
I'm sorry, I'm not answering any questions so I can speak to an attorney.
You feel pretty good about yourself today, huh? Think you were outsmarting everyone? A month and a day you spent chatting with someone who told you they're 15. Not just a cop, but a lieutenant. You sent pictures of yourself in uniform. You sent pictures of yourself from your office at the Metro DC Police Department, lounging on your couch, grooming a child. What should happen to you, Lieutenant?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm not answering any questions so I can speak to an attorney.
I guess you won't be.
What's really sad is the fact that there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of these people, and they're looking at your child and licking their lips. That's what's disgusting. And for so long in our country, we've done this. Bad, it's a mental illness. We got to help them. We'll help them when they're in prison, where they can't touch any other kids. That's what I look at. I think it's ridiculous. But the thing is that this guy, the way he's speaking, I can tell he is definitely a narcissist, and he's been arrested many times or he's been taken in because he knows exactly what to say or what not to say. And he's so smug because he thinks nothing's going to happen to him. We, the people, need to start fighting and make sure something does happen to these types of people, because it could be your child, could be your niece or nephew, could be, your grandchild. It's disgusting. It is sickening, but nobody wants to talk about it. Oh, I don't want to listen to this. I'm having my coffee. It's too early in the morning. What about the kids? What time of day do you think they like to have this happen to them? Never. It's sad to me because nobody wants to talk about it. So they just, look the other way or turn the channel so they don't have to deal with it because someone else will deal with it. That's why it's so rampant now. It's because nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. Like when the church would have someone that was doing stuff to little altar boys, instead of arresting the guy and putting him in prison, they'd move him to another church and let him start on a whole new group of kids. It's disgusting. And that's not Christian. That's not the Christian thing to do. Jesus would have put a stone around their neck and chucked them in the lake. That's what he would have done. It says so. But the thing is, every time I see something like this, I'm going to share it because this is what I'm talking about. Okay. Thank God he was talking to a police officer, even though he's a cop himself. And he sent pictures of himself with his dangly pieces hanging out in his uniform. It's disgusting. He's a disgusting person. And I can't wait. I hope he goes to prison. I'm going to try to keep up on this because I would like to see this person go to jail. This is the kind of people I want to see in prison. But it's sad, isn't it? You can take a child's innocence away, but because you didn't choke them to death or stomp their head in, like what happened to poor Athena, and he murdered her. You get a slap on the wrist because all it did was stop him from being a kid. He no longer can be a child anymore. He's now forced to think adult things because you forced yourself upon a child. It's disgusting. They repulse me. Oof. I hope this guy goes to prison. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. I get so upset about that because it's so horrible to have people like that breathe the same air as I do. Dangly pieces. Sorry. I didn't know what else to say. I try to say it without, trigger words or whatever. But it's pitiful, the positions that these people put our children in, our young people. It's really sad. But here's something. I've played a couple of videos from this gentleman, and he likes to go to Walmart, and he tells you if you find a piece of meat to weigh it over in the fruits and vegetables to make sure you're actually getting the amount of weight that you say you're buying. Like you say it's a 5-pound ham, it says so on the package, but when you weigh it, it only weighs 3.7 pounds. See what I mean? So to make sure that they know it when you take it up to the register, that they're not overcharging you for something. But this guy is going to talk about something else this time, but it's the same guy, and he does these little videos, and I just think he's really smart, and I think he's really helping people, especially if people are actually paying attention and listening to him. So I want you to see this real quick. I'm going to push pause, turn it up. Walmart is now being exposed for selling certain TVs at a loss so they can force customers into mandatory Walmart accounts that activate hidden surveillance, turning every screen into a powerful tracking device to enable relentless targeted advertising. So I don't know if you guys have heard that before. I've heard of this before, but I didn't know it was in Walmart. I know they were doing it at like, I don't remember the name of the chains, but there was a couple grocery store chains that were doing it. But here we go.
Did you realize that this TV right here is a Walmart tracking device to track you at home? Walmart bought Vizio Television. When they did that, they acquired millions of people's data. And more importantly than just the TV itself, they acquired the data system. They bought SmartCast and the data advertising platform that was owned by Vizio. So here's how it works. You pay $598 for the TV, you get it home, you unbox it, you plug it in, and you realize you can't operate it without a Walmart account. Actually, it says right here that a Vizio account is required for smart TV. And that's more than deceptive labeling. That's a straight up lie. You'll be immediately redirected to set up a Walmart account. And here's the sinister part. Like I said before, it wasn't about buying the physical TVs. It was about buying SmartCast. Any Vizio televisions that have been manufactured in 2026 require a Walmart account. And look at the deceptive pricing scheme. $238 for the TCL 50-inch and $178 for the Vizio. SmartCast is the operating system that lives inside the TV. It runs all your apps like Netflix and YouTube. It controls your home screen. And most importantly, the ad data system. What it does is detect what you're watching, even from cable boxes, game consoles, or DVDs, and your cell phone connected to the Walmart app. Now they will tie in what you and your family watch, search, and buy to relentlessly market you into their store. Even more Orwellian than that, linking your TV to your purchases to your location. Now you are a probable target for personal product pricing adjustments set according to your needs or desperation. This is called dynamic pricing, based on your personal data. And the fact that a giant corporation like Walmart has laid the foundation for a deceptive controlling system just like this should have us all outraged. Does it?
Just remember also, it's not in, I don't know exactly what country it is, but they've been putting those things on under their skin. So you don't have to have a wallet. You just walk up and go scan. And it's bad enough where you have all these young college students that don't have cash. They don't have any cash, but they have credit cards. And then they just scan, it's just plastic. So when you go to the drive-through to buy, like we were talking about McDonald's having worms in their drinks earlier today, you buy a Happy Meal and it costs you $10, right? Around $10. Well, instead of going through the drive-through, you decide to order it from your phone through Uber Eats. Well, that same Happy Meal is now $25 when you go to pay for it and you scan it, because it didn't cost money. You didn't have to count it out and see how much you were spending. It's just a swipe. So everyone's going to be in debt, because, we all owe something to somebody, and now it's digital. So it's easy to spend it. It's easy to spend money that you don't have when it's a piece of plastic. That's why I always tell people, use cash. Because if you have cash, you're more likely not to buy the stupid shit that you don't need and only buy things that you need. Like me, like this cute little jacket I'm wearing. I think it's adorable. And this shirt underneath, guess what? Thrift store. I buy so much stuff at thrift stores. And I started doing it years and years ago when I first started doing, stand-in work, because you have to have, they call it your colors. You have to match the person colors that you're standing in for, because what you're doing is they want to match your hair color, they want to match your skin tone and your colors on your shirt, your clothes, because they're going to be adjusting lights that they're going to film for the TV show, music video, whatever it is, right? So I would go buy white and then tan and some blues and other things that were very popular colors that might be being used on a set. And I would read about it and I'd talk to people, and I had just, you know, it didn't even have to be a real nice shirt. It'd just be a big t-shirt, lots of t-shirts. And that's what I'd wear, because guess what? It was the right color. And they'd say, well, we're going to be wearing these colors or these tomorrow. And then I would make sure I bring whatever I needed to wear for that day, so that when they turn the lights on the actress, the same color would come across on the camera from the lighting, and they'd have an idea of what she's going to look like, because I'm wearing the same colors and my skin tone is almost the same as hers, or my hair color is almost the same. See what I mean? So that kind of stuff makes a difference. But I can understand what he's talking about with this, because I've seen that before, where two different people. Well, this is interesting. It was one video. You can probably see it. You probably look it up on YouTube or one of the other video, you know, places to go look at videos. Two people, each of them had been in this system, like he's talking about, on their phones, right? And when you walk by and this phone connects to the system, prices will change on the products on the shelves to fit what your price range is in. But the other person coming by, it will do the same thing. And what's really funny is when you have both, one person on this end, one on the other, and they both attach to the system, right? All right. And then the numbers are changing, because this woman doesn't make near as much money as this woman. This woman has more money. The prices are going to be more expensive. So as they walk down and they get near each other, the numbers are going to have glitches, because now that it's trying to fight for two different customers. See what I mean? It's really interesting. But if you just learn from things and pay attention to things, you can know before the other person knows. But one thing I do recommend you get, and I don't get paid for them or anything, is it's an app, and it's called Flip. It's Flip with an F. I use it, and what I do is, like, when I was a kid, my mother used to go through the sale papers on the weekend, right? And she would say, okay, this is on sale at this store, and then these things are on sale at this store. So we'd go to 3 or 4 different stores to buy stuff. And I do the same thing today, because that's what my mom did. And I cut coupons, you know, things like that. But with Flip, you don't really have to do that, because Flip is going to tell you, like, I have ammo on there, I have chicken feed, I have different things like that. So whenever that's on sale, let's say it's on sale at I don't remember the name of the place now, I just went blank. The Tractor Supply place, okay? Chicken feed's on sale. And then at the other store is some other thing that I need, garden soil or whatever is on sale. Well, it will tell me on my app. My app will say, hey, this is on sale this week at this store, that whatever. So it lets you know what's on sale and where it's on sale. Okay. So it helps you save a little bit of money. It may not be hundreds of dollars a week, but if you can save $10 a week, it's worth it. That's $10 of gas that you can put in your truck, right? That's how I look at it, because I don't smoke, so I don't buy cigarettes with it. But if you bought cigarettes, you could buy a pack of cigarettes at least. You'd save enough to buy that. So it just depends on what you think is important. You know what I mean? And when you bitch and moan about everything being expensive, but you don't do anything to try to save any money, you know, to me, that just makes you look stupid. If you're not trying to fix the problems that you think you have, then you're just going to sit back and take it, I guess. That's how I look at it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I look at it. And I think I have, let me see real quick. Okay, this is the last thing I have coming up. I got one more thing, and I think it's really, really good, because I was really surprised when I saw this one. It was very informative, but I thought it was important. So I'm going to share it with you guys. You might have already heard it before, but I love this guy anyways. But it's an USA intercepted Ukraine conspiring with USAID, which we heard a lot about because of Elon's people, right? To launder $200 million into Biden's 2024 campaign and the DNC. Okay, remember, Hillary Clinton paid for the PP dossier on Trump with her money that she had collected for her campaign. So they had a fake PP dossier, and they had enough people and muscle that worked in the government to back it, to make it look like it was real, that he was in cahoots with Russia. Because I can remember people were telling me this stuff about Trump, and I was like, Hillary's saying this? And they're saying, yeah, Hillary's camp are saying that this is happening with Russia. And I go, she's the one that sold a uranium one to Russia. So why would he be in bed when she's already in bed with them? You know, so I don't know. To me, none of it made sense because I was actually paying attention to other things. So I wasn't as gullible as some of these other people, apparently. But plus it was Hillary. Oof, I've already told you how I feel about her. But I'm going to play this for you because this whole thing is big. I mean, they're just such skanks. I can't stand them. They're just terrible. But I'm gonna copy this real quick too because I'm going to share this in the chat. Because yeah, I think skanky people they are. Here we go.
A lot of you probably heard about it over the course of the day. The United States government, the National Security Agency, intercepted conversations of President Zelensky's government in Ukraine in 2022, late 2022, conspiring with federal workers at the USAID to come up with a plan to take $200 million of USAID money. That is your money, folks, taxpayer money, route it through a series of transactions, move it into the United States, and launder it into Joe Biden's 2024 campaign and the Democratic National Committee. We have the intercepts for the first time. Tulsi Gabbard's team was willing to declassify them. There is now an investigation underway, beginning with USAID, to look at who was involved, whether any crimes were committed, and if that is the case, to refer that to the FBI in the next few days. Those declassified documents up at justthenews.com. You can go check about it today. Members of Congress have been clamoring all day to get their hands on the documents. I expect Tulsi Gabbard to make a statement later tonight on where things are evolving in her investigation.
I think it's really, really good to start seeing some of this stuff come out like it should, because it's our money, yours and mine, the people that work for a living and pay taxes. That's whose money it is. And we deserve to know where the money goes. You know, it's just like we're taking the money and putting it in our savings account, but we have somebody that's constantly taking money out of our savings account, so we can't save any money. And we're like, we ask the bank, where's that money? Well, it went to this or it went to that. Well, why? Well, because they have their hand in your savings account. You know, they're allowed to do that. But why? Why are they allowed when they don't even have to ask and they can do whatever they want? It's not what we said we wanted. Like when you signed up for it, they said they're going to put this much money into our roads, this much money into the schools, this much into the city development or whatever we decided we wanted. And then we find out it's going to everything but the things that we said we wanted to go to. So that's why we have to, start trying to take care of ourselves through making sure we change the laws. I'll say it that way, or hold the people accountable that are breaking the laws that we already have on the books, that type of thing. And once we do that, I think we're going to start seeing a change, because if a person's young enough and they grow up seeing that we demand justice, we demand people be held accountable, why wouldn't our children feel the same way if we did it in front of them? If we said, well, we're holding them accountable. They said they were going to do this, that, and the other when we voted for them. We voted for them, and this one person didn't do the things that they needed to do, so we got rid of them. We impeached them and got another person in there to do the job. We held them accountable. And I think that's how we're going to win. But the thing is, we become lazy slobs after we get them in there for a certain amount of time. And the next thing you know, it's out of hand. They're way in that we can't afford it anymore. It's just terrible. So I just wanted to, put this out there for you. And I shared a bunch of links that are in there now. And I set it up to where the chat should be in the replay. So you should be able to go back and look certain things up and have that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of information I gave you. And if you're not into politics, well, maybe you should find another channel to go listen to, because I can't help it. I think it's important that we talk about it at least once a week. And that's why I call it the shit show, because that's basically what it is. It's a buttload of shit that we have to live with because we actually live here, and we have to pay bills. We have to take care of ourselves because we are responsible. And yeah, justice is slow. It really is. But we can get true justice if we hold the people accountable and make sure they follow through with what they said. If we do that, then we will win, and our children will win. That's the most important thing, is because that's all I thought about when I was a little girl growing up. Was one day I was going to get married. I didn't think I was going to marry a prince or anything. I thought he'd be a cowboy or something. But that's what I wanted. I wanted my own little house with a fenced yard and a garden and chickens and things like that. And I wanted my kids to have it better than I had it. Isn't that what the American dream is? That each generation is a little better off than the one before it. And we can have that, but we have to stick to our guns. We can't let drugs and alcohol and other things and corruption take us over and ruin it for us. Because by getting us hooked on certain things that we don't need, it takes away from the next generation beneath us. And that's why we got to do the best we can to help each other, so that we don't do that. I'm not saying don't have fun, because I like to have fun, but we can't have fun at the if it hurts other people. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm just saying, be responsible with what you have and take the best care of it you can. And I just want to remind everyone, please, please, please love your families, hug your family, tell them you love them, because you never know if you even have tomorrow. You know what I mean? I don't have my parents now. I've lost both my parents. And it sucks. It really sucks to know that I'm never going to get to talk to my mother again. And it's hard. And so make sure you get every hug that you can while they're there, while they're still there, from your siblings, from your grandparents, and from your parents and your best friends or whatever, because it's important. It really is important, because this is it, people. When you're gone, this is not there anymore. None of this stuff goes with you. You go by yourself. You go with all the memories that you've ever made. That's it. So make as many as you can. That's all I wanted to say. But I hope you watched my outro, because it's about the same thing that I talked a little bit about today. It's for Tim Tebow's foundation, and it to help traffic children and stuff. So if you see it, you can share it with someone else. I'd really appreciate it, because that's how we get more people to save people, is because if you're paying attention, you might be the one person that says, that doesn't look right over there, and call 911. Don't intercept, just call. I'd rather be wrong by making a phone call than find out later on that that person that I saw that I thought needed help and I didn't do anything, I didn't make a phone call, that they're no longer alive because no one took the time out to make a phone call. So don't be that person. You make that call. But you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I guess I'll talk to all of you later. Bye.
Boys and girls all over the world are being abused and tortured.
The worst moments of these children's lives, they're being videotaped, and they're being shared with other offenders all over the world.
Many people would refer to this as CSAM, child sexual abuse material.
They are suffering, and they don't think that anyone is coming to help them. But we can. We can build that army, and we can go get them.
Come be a part of this team that is trying to push back this evil.